How's it going today, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Creatives Podcast. I am your co-host, Tevin Brown. Fortunately, we don't have Simone here today. We miss her dearly. She's covered for me a few times, so it's only right that I cover for her. But we'll be right back to normal with the next couple episodes. But today, we have some incredible guests on today. I'm going to kind of try and go in order and make sure that I remember everything. We have a phenomenal model, Reina G. We have a phenomenal producer and designer in Jericho. And we also have a absolute fashionista, producer and model themselves, Yazmean La Patrona. Guys, thank y'all for being on with me today. Hopefully I didn't butcher anything too bad.
No, you did so good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So with our podcast, one of my favorite questions to always kind of start with, and we can kind of go down the line, is respectively, how did you guys get into your fashion and everything, and getting into producing as well as modeling and designing and all of that?
Okay. Would you like to go first, Carly?
Sure. I started posting when I was 13 years old, all things fashion, makeup, the whole creator lifestyle. And here I am 10 years later where it's finally paying off, and I'm currently doing things that I've been wanting to do, such as fashion, and I've always had such an affinity for all sorts of fashion throughout my life. And finally, I'm here modeling with amazing designers, great producers, and living my dream. It's definitely been a dream.
I love that, yes.
I got started about 10 years ago also, but in a different way. I started in high school. I've always loved fashion. I've always dressed different compared to everybody else. And then started a fashion program in high school, then was an assistant to a designer who did Teresa Romero of Teresa Rose Designs here in Albuquerque.
Nice.
And she did custom wedding dresses and lingerie. And so I assisted for her for years, and then I've been a hairstylist also throughout that, and so I worked on fashion shows doing hair and like photo shoots, and I just always loved it. And then about 2 years ago, decided that I wanted to do it myself under my own name, so I started Jericho, and here we are 2 years later now. I'm producing, designing, modeling sometimes, but mostly designing.
I feel like, so I come from like a background in like film and theater, so I mean I've always like kind of had a passion for how it brings the story together, and I feel like there's a lot of story to tell through one's fashion or through different lines. And honestly, it kind of fell in my lap years back. Jericho was the first designer I ever got the pleasure to model for. And fast forward to today, and we're going to be producing some shows together, so
Nice.
I'm excited.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. Okay, so bouncing with my first question, what was that like when Jericho, when you first got into that first fashion program?
Let me see. I was in high school as a senior, and I started since I was just started 4 years at my last year of high school. I started as like a beginner, or phase 1, I think they called it, and I took classes outside of school. And usually for the closing designer for like our final at the end of the year, they have like the 4-year student close it, but I closed the whole show with like 27 designs, I think, and that was my first show. And then just would do little shows here and there, and then I was just assisting with Teresa, but yeah, I've just been always like Lana Del Rey is like one of my main influences, and so she's kind of like shaped how a lot of things that I do.
I love that.
Everyone has a diva.
No, it's beautiful. And you make it sound so beautifully modest, but like 27 different designs for like a senior project essentially is like an absolute mountain of a task. What goes into your personal style when it comes to designing?
I like seeing like the human form as it is, just like either like elevated, I guess, or like bringing out someone's beauty, and no matter shape, size, gender, and just I like flowy, soft, delicate things with and then stuff that's not, I don't really see that, and generally try to do more unique things. like to change society's perspective.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an altogether group question. I feel like all the time, I mean, I follow also a lot of different models and fashion designers, so I'm constantly seeing a ton of different fashion shows and all of these things. And you see, it's kind of like the meme of like the tip of the iceberg, where you're seeing kind of like the peak itself, but you don't get to see the actual boulder underneath. What goes into not only on the producing and designing side, but also the modeling side, putting together a fashion show and trying to kind of cultivate all of that in one or two nights?
I feel like definitely from a producing perspective is a whole ball game in itself. You know, you're in charge of so much, and the show itself. So that comes with more. But with modeling, you know, it's just like any art form. There's castings. You go, audition, put your best foot forward, and hopefully get picked up by one of the local designers. If you've already passed that point, then, you know, you go in for certain fittings. You start seeing the vision come together, and to be a part of that is always so special, to be kind of like that vessel to bring the story out of the outfit, you know?
Yeah.
And then once you hit that runway, it feels like you have like a long day waiting just to build up to such a quick moment, but that moment's everything. And you just kind of give it to the people, and you get to sell that story of that outfit, so I think that's always fun.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I would completely agree with you. It's all the hard work, the practicing of the walks, and working with the garments to bring, you know, a vision to life, whether it be the show, the garment itself, or, you know, the purpose behind all of it. A lot of people don't see all of the work and the practice that it really takes to be a model, to hit those certain marks, what is so necessary. And it is hard work that I think, like you said, it's just for a split second of time.
Or
but
even like the nerves, you know, like
the
you
nerves,
you could feel a certain way, but before you hit there, you know, you have to zone in and
you gotta lock
you
in.
work through it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. For my guests at home, I also wanted to know, today's episode is also a little bit different. I will be asking primarily most of the questions, but I do also have the co-founders of the show. Phenomenal Daniel and Lydia off here on the side. They're way too nervous. They were like, Tevin, I've already been on camera once. I don't want to do it again. We had about 5 minutes of begging, but ultimately I lost. But they will also be asking questions off screen. So if you hear a question but don't see whoever's asking it, it may be one of them, because we have a ton of...
I always put it on the spot.
Oh yeah, I love putting you on the spot, Daniel. Listen.
Well, ladies first, so BBLex is here.
You're gonna hear my voice, but you're not gonna see my face. So
Yeah,
It's a
all good.
beautiful
okay.
face, man. It's a beautiful face
no, I
to
just
see.
wanted to say thank you. You know, because they were also in my fashion show. I appreciate you guys and the trust that you put in me. And thank you, Tevin, for having us. Thank you, Daniel, for having us here at the Creatives. #1 podcast. I have to shout it out.
Yes.
But most of anything, you know, it takes a lot to be there as a producer, as a designer, and as a model. All the work that gets put into it. If it wasn't for all of the elements that come together, the show wouldn't be so fabulous as it was. And I have a question for a first-time model of what she felt as a first-time model of being on a runway, and then also being there all day, experience about the chaos behind, you know, when they're getting ready and in the dressing rooms. Like, what was it like to be a first-time experience model?
I didn't know it was your debut. I'm
Yes.
excited.
And just for safety, so that way the sound people also don't kill me. So I repeat the question: is Reina, what was it like your first kind of show, being a model, and first time modeling, being there all day, like the energy around it? What was it like for you there?
It was exhilarating, and me as a person, I thrive off of chaos. I find comfort in chaos.
Yeah.
But it felt like a little girl's dream had come true. And of course, I was very, very nervous. But it was all worth it. And it was such a beautiful experience. And I've made friendships that I will cherish for the rest of my life off of this one show. And it has taught me so much that I've taken, you know, to my pageantry and, you know, other career opportunities that wouldn't be possible if it weren't for this one show. And it was genuinely the best experience of my life. It was nerve-wracking, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was all worth it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Beautiful. So you mentioned pageantry, if I can say words today. What are the similarities and differences that you feel when it comes to handling a pageant versus handling a fashion show?
There is definitely similarities, but there are also a lot of differences.
Yeah.
There's differences between like a pageant walk versus a catwalk
Yeah.
walk. Like I was telling Lydia earlier, that a lot of what I learned through our rehearsals and just working on the show itself, I was able to translate to my pageant, and it took me very far. I was a state finalist, and you know, thank you. But down to how you carry yourself and the etiquette and, you know, networking, you know, creating relationships from people that you've never met before or that you've seen online but never had the courage to shoot a DM, that, you know, you get the confidence. It is very confidence building, and it's just been lovely. It's been lovely.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question is kind of more, how do I word it? Because the word I was going for is personal, but really it's kind of just a question on each of your individual fashion, because fashion always kind of speaks about oneself. For your personal fashions, how did you find your individual looks, and what was it like once you kind of found those looks? Because each of your outfits, I do want to emphasize, is absolutely phenomenal in each of their own beautifully unique ways.
I feel like for me, it's always so, I try to hold my culture and my identity so high in every expression that I have, being like a trans Latina, you know, rooted from Mexico but raised here, and it's just, you know, I try to keep that in it, so that's why I have like all the different accessories that speak to that. But I don't know, I feel like I just like to shapeshift. You'll catch me looking like this undercover, and then the next day I'll be like face beat, bust down.
I'll have those days.
Like, you know, you
A
just
diva walking
yeah, the diva in the midst, you know. So I just feel like it's just fun to play, and I feel like people forget that. So like, why not try something new? Why not just trust the process? I feel like, you know, start somewhere and just see where it takes you. Yeah. How about you?
My personal style and fashion, I like to combine cultures, or like I'm Indigenous, but and we have an Indigenous community, like Two-Spirit people, and so I'm kind of like in the middle between like feminine and masculine, or like I'll try to, some days I'll be more like on the boy side, some days more the feminine side, and I'll just like do both. And I like to combine, I like a lot of Middle Eastern fashions. Like this is, I feel like, is like kind of Middle Eastern, but they're like long, like, they're not like quite dresses, but they're not like shirts either.
Yeah.
And then like Japanese culture like that, and then also Latin cultures, like I just like combining everything and doing a mix of what I think is cool. That's all.
Reina?
I have had a lot of trial and error with my personal style. It's definitely taken a few years of evolution. I do lean more towards like Mexican and, you know, very Cholita vibes.
Yeah.
But I, like you said, are a shapeshifter. I, you know, love to dip into different styles of fashion, and I love some glitter. I love some glitter, some sparkles, some rhinestones. I'm very extra when it comes to even my day-to-day style. I don't like just, if it's even jeans and a top, I love to elevate it in some sort of way, whether it be a pair of heels or a colorful makeup look, kind of just bringing that life into the vision.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so kind of dipping back into the fashion show world and everything, what is each of y'all's favorite part about a fashion show?
I feel like now stepping into like a new role with producing, I'm excited for like For me, it's always storytelling. I feel like it's
Yeah.
because my biggest passion is acting and film.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like any creative outlet that I dive into always is rooted in storytelling. And it's because I feel like as humans, it makes us feel less alone.
Mm.
So truthfully, my favorite part would be modeling, and it is like telling that story of that outfit. You know, whether it be like something very fierce, then I'm channeling like a lioness, a cat on that runway, you know, and it just inspires the people watching. At least I hope it does.
Yeah, I love that.
My favorite part is when it's over. I'm just kidding. No, no, I love the storytelling too. It is
Little
'cause
fairy tale.
it is like months and days and
Mhm.
nights, and usually close to a show there's like no sleep, and so I'll go like months of like not doing nothing, or weeks and days, and then like doing like 48 hours of just like nonstop work and like getting everything together. I've been liking lately, sometimes when a show has a theme, it'll be kind of cool to like play around with that. But every detail and outfit of like what comes to my mind has a meaning behind it, even if no one else knows what it is.
Yeah.
I always have a meaning. There's always intention of where I place certain things, how things will lay, what music I use, what the models I choose, the makeup and hair. I like seeing all of that brought to life, and I feel like with the summer show was one of the few shows where the whole vision that I had in my head was like exactly how I
You
wanted
said
it.
even the wind was a paid actress.
Yeah, the wind came through.
I love that.
My favorite part would, like, again, be storytelling, and as a model being entrusted to bring that vision to life and doing everything I can to execute a vision the way it's intended. And the day of it's so much chaos, it's fun, and
Yeah.
it feels just exhilarating.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Bouncing back a little bit, Jericho and Yazmean, when those kind of like those days leading up to when kind of you're talking about like it's just go, 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 go. I'm sure, of course, there can be moments where that's just absolutely exhausting. How do y'all keep yourself motivated in those moments and inspired while it's like just right there coming together, but it's not quite there yet?
Mine is my past self, my younger self. Like thinking, remember when you said dreaming about this? Now, like, you're doing it. Like, remember you said, like, talk about this with your friends when you're, like, 14, 15, 19. Like, oh, it would be cool if we did this. And now here I am, like, actually doing it. And that's what keeps me going. Like, we're almost there. Like, it's going to be so worth it. Like, you're going to see the whole vision, and it's all happening. It's like living your dreams are now, like, or my dreams are now my reality, which is a different feeling, but it's very cool.
And I feel like, yeah, like you gotta love it, you know? And I think I heard a saying where it's like, would you rather be tired doing something you love? I mean, you're always gonna be tired. You might as well be tired doing something you love. So I feel like it's good to stay grounded and just remind yourself why you're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
There's so much work that's done just for the art. You don't get paid, but you're doing it. You're doing it to build the community here and build for future artists.
That's beautiful. And Reina, for you, because I know you said like day of, it's chaotic, but it's so fun. How do you keep yourself in those moments when you're auditioning for fashion shows and all of these things? How do you keep yourself motivated with the modeling end of everything?
It's just that ambition of, you know, what like Jericho was saying, thinking of your younger self, that your younger self would have always talked about this and would have always loved to do this, and that dream is becoming reality, and it's the motivation comes from doing my absolute best in everything I do, you know, for little Reina, you know, 10 years ago posting her first YouTube video. And it's, you know, a lot has transpired and a lot has happened, but, you know, the day of, it pays off immensely. And that the feeling the day of is a feeling that cannot be replicated unless it's like another show. but this show was so special to me, and it was genuinely a dream come true.
I love that.
So let me ask the producers, as a producer, there's a lot of responsibility that you take upon while running the show.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of advice would you give to those that want to do a fashion show? Because with this, you know, you get so many things bombarded at you.
Mm-hmm.
You get positive and negative things. How do you overcome those obstacles as they're coming? You know, whether somebody's saying something about you, or there's a problem with the music, or behind the scenes, there's other things that you weren't expecting that happened within that time that you're in running the show and trying to stay calm. How do you advise that, and how do you overcame those obstacles?
I would say, one, like, keep your humility, like, be willing to learn. Because at the end of the day, yeah, no matter how prepared you are, something's going to be thrown off, or something, you know, there's going to be an obstacle. So you have to be humble enough to be willing to learn. And then also, kind of, I bring it from my theater background or film background, but the show goes on. The show must go on. You know, somebody drops a line, then you have to find a way to pick it back up. And so I feel like I really root myself in that, in this aspect too, where it's like, you know, if something's dropped, then you need to be the one to know when to pick it back up.
I would say always stay 12 steps ahead. Be prepared.
I'm all 3 months.
Yeah. Be prepared for anything and everything to go wrong, but also be prepared for nothing. And to, you can't please everybody, but you will, the fires that like happen or little negative things, usually nobody even notices. And so your job is to like put out the fire right away. I've learned that from my friend who's actually where I get a lot of information from. Her name is Otakwan, and she's the one who got me into production because we do the First People's Fashion Show in Colorado. But she's given me a lot of advice, and she's also on these productions too, just behind the scenes. But she's an amazing model also, and she lives in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Nice.
So,
Nice. I love it. Speaking of upcoming projects, do y'all have any shows or anything coming up soon?
Yes, I mean, you could always catch me on the stage of film or anything like that, but we do have a fashion show coming up July 31st called Starlit in the Sand.
yes, that we're doing with our friend Rosa of Culture. And
Which is a featured New Mexican magazine that we're all been kind of working on and will be out soon.
Nice.
yeah, it'll be here in Albuquerque. We'll have 9 designers,
All local.
Yeah, all New Mexican or ties to here, and the 3 parts.
Yeah, it'll be like, and it's like not just like a fashion experience. It's kind of like a really New Mexican centric story that's broken up into 3 acts, 3 designers in each act. The first one is honoring our roots and our heritage. The second one is really challenging our present and what we're facing today and standing for today. And then the third one is our future and where we're taking things. So I hope you guys come and join us on that journey, y'all.
That's beautiful.
And then after that, 2 weeks later, we're doing, it's Jericho Sovereign Santa Fe present Scottish and SX2. It'll be at La Fonda on the plaza during the Santa Fe Indian Market. On August 13th is the first show, and August 15th is the second. The first one will be a traditional show with designers from North and South America, all Indigenous. And then the second will be more a fashion event, and we'll have 7 performers plus 8 designers from all over the continent also. And yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, y'all.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Like,
a
I
lot of
love that.
exciting things.
That actually kind of bounces into one of my final questions because I know I'm kind of running out of time. What is y'all's favorite part about New Mexico and doing fashion and art and even theater and film here?
Would you have to go first, babes?
My favorite thing about New Mexico, of course, it will always be home, but the community here that has, I feel, recently come to life with all of these shows and these productions, and the community of creators and designers. I think it's just so beautiful, and I think we are so unique in our roots, and everything we all do ties back to Mexican values, and that's not something that you find anywhere else. And it's so uniquely beautiful, it cannot be replicated.
Yeah, I agree with her. And I think I call New Mexico home, even though I'm originally from Oregon, but I grew up here most of my life, and all my friends, my chosen family are here. My blood family too, I'm really close with, but my chosen family also, they're all here, and that has been I feel like New Mexico's art is really finally, we're getting our flowers, because they used to say we were behind, but I think we're now setting the trends, and people are looking at us in the whole film, fashion, beauty, all of the above. And then we're also a multicultural state. We're the only state with more minorities than that's what I like about it too.
Yeah, and I guess I agree with all that y'all said, and I think it's just really beautiful to be a part, to help it grow. The film industry has been growing, the fashion industry, the summer has had so many fashion shows, so it's really an honor to be a part of that. And it's kind of plays into the whole desert fantasy of our fashion show, Starlit in the Sand. We're all rooted here, and no matter where we go, you're always going to have that little desert sand in your pocket. And I think there's something special about that.
I love that. Thank you all for being on the show with us today. It has been,
Thank you.
even with this being an extended episode, I feel like there's still not enough time, because I've got 30 different questions that I want to ask everybody. But the final thing I want to ask, because in my opinion, the most important, where can people find y'all, follow your work, follow your future fashion shows and projects and everything?
Yes, and you can definitely keep up with me on Instagram. Just look up Yaz La Patrona or YAZ_La Patrona. And then on Eventbrite, look for tickets for all 3 of our fashion shows coming up.
My Instagram is at Jericho Reina, and yeah, we're all under Eventbrite. Search Cultra, KULTRA, and you'll see all 3 of the shows listed for tickets.
Nice.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. It's Reina G. And yeah, I'm just a phone call away.
Awesome. Thank y'all again so much.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Creators Podcast. Once again, my name is Tevin Brown. I would like to thank our phenomenal co-founders who guest starred here. I know they were off camera and I wanted them to be on camera, but I lost, but that's besides the point. I would love to thank them so much, Daniel and Lydia, for all that they have done to create and create the foundation of what this show is, and bring on phenomenal people and be able to have absolutely amazing conversations with a ton of beautiful local artists. Thank you as well to New Mexico Entertainment. The NM Entertains award ceremony had happened recently, and we won Top Podcast in New Mexico. We were honored to even find out that we were nominated. We're even more ecstatic to have found out that we won. We're incredibly grateful for it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for your support and voting and everything, and getting us nominated and also helping us win. Thank you every single episode to Studio 519 for dealing with my and Simone's crazy antics month in and month out. Please go and check out their local channel. I believe that is channel 27, where you can not only check out the Creators Podcast on there, but you can also find a ton of different content from a ton of different local people doing all of each of their own special things. Thank you as well to Catharsis Media for all that they do for the community when it comes to their frame-by-frame events. I know they also recently had a different event, I believe. They also have their local channel, Channel 96, where they also have a ton of amazing content on there, including the Creators Podcast. And thank you to RM Entertainment as well, one of our amazing sponsors. It is a phenomenal app that you can get on your smart TV and smart devices, Roku TV as well. It's completely free, and there's a ton of really great content on there. Thank y'all for supporting us. Thank, of course, our day ones, our YouTube watchers and followers. Please, 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 of course, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It's always the cliche that people say on YouTube, but YouTube's also changed a lot of their algorithms to where likes are now more important than ever before, where they have a hype system essentially, and the more likes is the more shares it becomes. Takes 2 seconds, it's completely free, and helps us a bunch to get out there and also find even more incredible fashionistas and artists and film people and models and all of these different people that we can bring on and have more conversations. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know we're at like a year and a half of doing this, and I can't wait for about 20 years more when Daniel constantly texts me and is like, okay, so we have these people lined up. You're going to show up, right? And I'm like, yes, I will try. I will. Which, speaking of, thank you. My final thank you goes to my phenomenal co-host, Simone. She's covered for me for a few times where I had personal things going on. She wasn't able to make it to these episodes. We, of course, miss her, but she's covered for me so many times. It's only right that I, of course, cover for her anytime I can. We absolutely miss you. Can't wait to do more episodes with you and top podcasts in New Mexico, baby. Please have a great night and stay safe.